Hello, it's Manuel Gadi here, and in this video I will explain how you download a Bootstrap template and how you adapt that for your needs with the design and how you upload that for PythonAnywhere. First, go to Google and then you can search for Bootstrap templates free, and I'm gonna go and start bootstrap.com. You can go directly there, themes. And for this example, I'm gonna get the grayscale example. You can start the demo here and see how the web operates. It's basically scroll down when you click here, and then this is going to be really important, the contact, because we're going to turn that into our form later. So you can either download the grayscale from here or you can download it from here. So I'm going to go back here and click download and wait the start bootstrap to come up. Gonna go here and I already have. So here we go. We extract here and we're gonna have a directory here, start grayscale pages, and here we go. If you double click here, it will open in a web browser and we'll see it already working on your project. So first of all, let's just change it something here. Normally all come with some assets. There are some pictures and images and everything. You can change. What I recommend is that to make it easier, just change to the background you want, keeping the name. So you don't change the names, everything should work. And then the CSS and the JavaScript, you don't change the JavaScript. What you will change is the CSS for your style. So if you go here, try to edit with any web browser, and let's say you go to the very bottom here, and the point is, let's say I have some corporate colors that I want to use, like in this get started button here. I want to change the background color. So I'm gonna go here, view page source, and I'm gonna go and say get started. Here's the button, and this is the class btn primary. So if I want to change all the buttons to the color I want, I have to put it. This is a bit of CSS here, and you have to put dot because it's a class, and then you put open curly bracket, close curly bracket. And then you put here, you search for it, but you go here in Google and search CSS change background color of the button, and then you're gonna end up very likely in W3 school, and they tell you, oh, light blue, that's what you need. This is what you need, what's inside. This is the selector. You don't change the selector. This is what you need. So normally you just get this part because I already have the rest, and this is light blue. I will change it to red. Save it and refresh here, and then I get the color red. I already have my startup or my fintech company, and that's Revolut. So I'm gonna go Revolut here, and I go to Revolut, enter Revolut, and I want is this pink color that I see here. So I will open that. Make sure you open that in Chrome, so what I'm gonna tell you will work. So you open Revolut in Chrome, and then you click F12, and you search for you click in elements or style, and then you go around. What I need is to find anything that says color, because what I need is to click in this button here and get this object. Just click here, make sure it's clicked, and then you get close. You will see that I can get the color. Then what I need is to get, when you get the color, I need the RGB that appears here. So I can copy the RGB and I go back to my file that I'm editing, and I put background color that RGB with the semicolon at the end. Make sure you will use the semicolon. It's something from the CSS. Then I'll save it. I can reload the page here where I'm seeing it. Just F5, and then I get the color here. Right, so this is how I change. How do I change this text, Professor? You just go here and search for grayscale. You'll see that it's in here, that I'm gonna say, oh, that's not in here, the one I'm editing, sorry. That has to be, that's not the CSS, that's the index.html. And this is what I need to open here. Just drag and drop whatever you're using it, and then you go there and say grayscale, find, and you start changing. This is the type, the header. So I'm gonna say here revolute. Go here and F5 again. So I have revolute, change the color, and obviously I'm not getting the best colors, but I gave the schema. What you need to do to change the text. So the text, you basically go on the index.html, and the style, you go there and change in the CSS. To actually serve the page, we're gonna use Flask. So you go here, Flask Python, and go to the Flask palettes project. That's where what it stays, and quick a minimum application. And this is what we need for our application. So we're gonna need to start. I'm gonna start spider here. Spider. Here you have Anaconda Python installed. Next, I will first of all save this file where I want. That is in this directory here that I'm working. So I'm gonna copy here, paste it up here, because I want to save a file called app.py in this directory. Save it. And I should have the app.py here. And the app.py actually needs from, so basically what I'm gonna need is from Flask, you can copy the file there, import both Flask and render template. Then I need to go app, start my app, and I started with the class Flask, and I tell where I am. So this is basically main. That's my main program. And then what else do I need? I basically need app run at the bottom, and that's all. It would help us right now to run it as debug, so you're better off putting debug here. Then let's create a function here that basically does a marvelous job of returning hello world. Yeah, I know, in Python, if I call this function index here, and if I just run this part here with the white, it will give me the hello world, but that's not what I want. I want it to be able to run it from the web. So how do I connect this function to the web? Basically, I have to set a route and use the app. So I set a route here, and in the route option, basically this time I'm just gonna put it that this is the main route on my code. Next, I can comment out this guy or remove it completely. So I'm gonna save this, and I recommend that you don't run anything here. I recommend that you run it using a console. So this is in Anaconda prompt in my case. So I'm gonna run Anaconda prompt. Gonna again go to the directory, cd, open like this with quotes, and then I'm gonna say Python app.py. This is gonna start the server, and it's gonna tell me the address I need to open. So I do Control-C here, go to the browser, and I can open in the browser, and I get the message hello world. Not very useful, but everything is working. So how do I return my index.html? I have to use this function here, render template. And what do I put? I put parentheses and then index.html inside. And if I run this, the server will restart. Why? Because it's in debug mode. If it doesn't restart, it's because you didn't put debug mode. So what do? You kill the server and restart it by hand. But I recommend, because we're going to be changing a few things here, that you put debug mode here. Next, what do? We go back here and we refresh. And it says, oh, templates not found, index not found. Why? It's because Flask is expecting a kind of structure. And the structure is that the templates, all index.html and all HTML should be moved inside a file called inside a folder called template. So I have to create that template and put the index.html there. I come here and do Ctrl F5. I get the index.html. I can also go here and click it again or press here so that you refresh the page. But Professor, it's not as beautiful as it was in the grayscale here. Why is that? Oh my gosh, that's the problem. We are getting something. Why people normally share the files with that structure, I mean everything bucket in one big zip? It's because they don't know which framework we're going to use. And every framework we use, if we use Django, Web2Py, and different things, it gets different directories. And actually, Flask asks us to put everything else inside static. It's not statics, it's static. So it's templates and it's static. And then you move everything else to static. However, the problem is now if I have to open the index.html and I have to tell that, for example, everything that is in CSS folder, I have to put it inside static. And if I save this and now refresh, it will capture the CSS. But there are more. So what I recommend is that you go inside static and see the directories here, CSS, JS, and asset. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I find CSS/ and if I find it in more places. No, just here. What else do I have? I have the word assets that I find it in several places. So what do? Well, I go and change it and put the word static at the beginning, and then go next, and repeat it for every place. Static. I'm gonna copy here, and I'm gonna move next. Static here. Asset, static here, and static here. And finally, the word JS/JS/. This is, I don't change it because it doesn't start with JS. This one starts with JS, so I put static here, and I don't think there is any more. Good. Ctrl S, and now everything is fine. Just go here and refresh it, and I'm ready to move everything for PythonAnywhere. So guys, now that I come here, I will call this guy Revolut, because I've changed it, and I'm gonna zip this file as zip. So as you do it, remember you have to change all the styles and make sure everything works here. I'm gonna record a new video for putting things in PythonAnywhere.